Hey everyone, we have a question about connected television advertising from Matt Leitch. The question is, what is the major difference in viewership between over-the-top television, OTT advertising, and traditional advertising? So let's compare this. And these stats are coming in from eMarketer. So connected television advertising is expected to be $6.9 billion in media spend in 2019 in the US. Or we'll round it up to $7 billion. U.S. television advertising is about $70 billion, $70.3 billion. So connected television advertising is about 10% of the total traditional television market, comprised off of cable and broadcast television. So when we talk about the number of users, let me pull that up here. There are 195 million connected television users in the US, and the top two devices are Roku and Amazon Fire TV. So Roku users, there are, according to eMarketer, 86 million Roku users. According to eMarketer, 64 million Amazon Fire television consumers, and then the aggregation of smart TVs as a singular bucket has the most, 106 million, but that's broken out across many different devices, right? So the singular device, and I think the most interesting device in the marketplace today, is Roku, because it's a really easy to use platform. They just bought a company called DataZoo, which is a demand side platform, and I expect Roku to become and continue to be a very valuable player, an important space in connected television. They do a lot of advertising. They do about $500 million in advertising predicted for 2019, and that also is through eMarketer. And that's predicted to grow to $800 million in 2020 and $1 billion in 2021. So from a qualitative standpoint, what's the difference? Well, first, there are limited ads in connected television environments, and those limited ads are served to people who are not in Netflix, who are not in Amazon Prime, and these ads can be video ads and display ads. So like, for example, on Roku, there's an ad on the right-hand side that promotes and clicks into a channel where you can watch different channels on Roku. Certainly, there's a lot more control. It's viewing on demand. Whatever your interest might be. There are platforms like Pluto TV and Tubi TV, which are really interesting. Crackle, that's been owned by Sony, or was owned by Sony, has been around for about a decade. So there's a lot of opportunity here. And so when we think about connected television advertising from an advertising perspective, it really gives us the ability to target very granularly by zip code, by radius around an address. We can do remarketing around to users who saw our connected television ads by connecting the television device identifier to an IP address. You get a household identifier, and you can serve banner ads to people after they've seen your connected television ad. You also have the ability to do website attribution. Once they've seen a connected television ad, did they generate share their information as a lead, or do they buy something on your website? And that all can be done with connected television advertising. So there's a lot more attribution. There's a lot easier to understand when your media is working on connected television rather than waiting weeks and months on traditional TV. And you have the ability to connect connected television into the greater ecosystem of ad buying that you do from a singular interface. Right, so that fundamentally changes what advertising is in 2019 going into 2020. Right. So, for example, another really valuable thing we can do on connected television is use MasterCard data or Oracle or Nielsen data and serve ads to people based on they walked into a yoga place, or they bought Oreos at the supermarket, or they're a Bank of America customer, whatever the case is. So it's a lot more granular targeting than is available on traditional television. The CPMs are much more expensive, certainly, because there's much more granularity in how you can target, but the waste is a small fraction of what the waste generally is in television. And then finally, wrapping this all up, the question is, how much, I mean, you can run television ads all day, but we know from consumer behavior people aren't watching as much television. And when they're on and there's a commercial that's running, are they paying attention to the commercial? Are they muting the commercial? Have they gone and made a sandwich? Do they run to the restroom? Is it playing in the background? So we're seeing declines in television ad spending because consumers, high value, or I would say high income consumers, low income consumers, middle income consumers, they have more control about what they want to watch. Maybe they don't want to spend $60, $70, $100 to have cable television. They'd rather spend 10 or 20 or maybe even $100 a month to have access to the inventory, to the entertainment that they want to have on demand. So it's a different framework for consuming content on the big screen in the house. Hope that's helpful. Have a good day.